Hello, everyone. So, the one day read that I'm reviewing is the Atlanta Ripper. And this actually I got from the library, as you can tell by the sticker here, the Hawley Library from Eastern Michigan University. And this is actually a pretty interesting read because I never knew about this. So, the book is called The Atlanta Ripper because it details a possible serial killer that was active in Atlanta that was nicknamed Jack the Ripper. And it was nicknamed Jack the Ripper because there were actually some thoughts that perhaps Jack the Ripper, as a newspaper suggested, boarded what do you call it, a ship and came to Savannah, and then from the port of Savannah came into Atlanta and started killing. Now, interestingly enough, people have crunched the numbers on this because the Atlanta Ripper serial killings, if it was a serial killer, started in possibly 1909 or 1911, and you can read the book to find out why that is, because maybe there was a serial killer, maybe it wasn't, but perhaps all the deaths that happened in 1911 were. I only recently learned what the term circumstantial evidence means. Despite hearing it a lot, I learned it when I read Helter Skelter, and it's just saying, let's say someone's accused of a murder and they can prove they were in a hotel room at this part of the day, a murder took place this time of day, and they were back in their hotel room, and there's footage of this. Was there enough time for them to get from place to place and commit the murders? That's circumstantial evidence, so stuff that just the circumstances rule out a person, or maybe do the opposite, rule out that that's the only person who could have done something. And so, could Jack the Ripper have made it to the United States? First of all, I do not think Jack the Ripper ever touched down in the United States. I think that's all just hogwash. But if he was only 20 to 40 years old in 1888 when he committed the canonical 5 crimes, then yeah, he could be alive in 1909 or could be alive in 1911. Now, once it gets to possible things happening in the 20s, that changes things completely. But there's actually some serious debate as to even if there was a serial killer at all in Atlanta, because the killer did use different weapons and things like that, or at least the people who died were killed in very, very different ways. And of course, you've got the problem that the newspapers said that this might be Jack the Ripper, odd things started happening. Jack the Ripper kind of made his face a bit known, and was even chased down at one point, or was chased and got away from the chase, which is, though that never happened to Jack the Ripper, no credible evidence that happened from a historical perspective. It's in widestream popular belief, so you gotta wonder how much of reports after this person was called Jack the Ripper were exaggerated to fit the Jack the Ripper narrative. Either way, though, interesting chapter of history. I myself am actually from Georgia, and I had never heard of this, so check it out. Like I said, The Atlanta Ripper. If you're curious about, post-Reconstruction in the Dirty South, a heck of a book.